So this is, I think, the last one of the week, last one for this week. So Tony's right. How are you guys? It's 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm not like low energy, but I'm kind of like I have other videos for other channels I want to do, so I need to like kind of do it anyway. So this one is going to be there are a bunch of things on my submittable that I have and I want to do, and so I am going to have to start writing up a storm. Writing up a storm. I said in the previous video that I didn't want to use the ideas that I have currently towards thesis, only because I kind of feel like there may be just some experiences that I have this next summer, this upcoming summer, that like shape what I want to talk about. Although I have been given the advice that having ideas of what you want to write about, maybe not necessarily like the full chapbook done, right? But having some general ideas, themes, maybe some examples of where you're trying to go will be helpful. For me, I'm just in the experimenting stage, and I think I'm just in the experimenting stage because I want to apply to different places. Again, my goal is to get published twice a semester, and so I've submitted something somewhere. It's a micro kind of fiction piece. I don't know if I'll get it in. I kind of like the idea, but I don't know how fully formed the idea. Like, it is a beginning, middle, and end, but I like question how like interesting it is to publish. I tried to make it like interesting, but I don't know, like I have a doubt about that, and then I had to pay for it. It wasn't like $20 or anything like that. It was like $4, but still I'm like we'll see where this one goes. Because I can create, like, reading the other stuff, I was like, this maybe falls in line, maybe it doesn't fall in line, I don't know. So there's that. So that's one, may or may not get into. And then there's just like a bunch that I'm trying to apply to. Surprisingly enough, there's like so many like chapbook contests, and that's my main focus now, is to do publishing and chapbook contests. And the main thinking behind this is like a strategy for my like graduating thing. If I like get a chapbook like accepted and I get copies of that, I am putting that shit on my fucking table when I graduate. Like, if I get accepted into a chapbook contest and like I get copies of it like this year or next year, I'm putting that shit on my fucking table when I go to like do my MFA reading, because we have to make our own books, and we have to like, the MFA book fair is like you fucking selling your book, and I want to have multiple books. That's the strategy. I don't care if it's a broadside. I don't care if it's that like I'm making my shit. I know what I want to do. I know what I want to do. And so applying for these chapbooks is more of a marketing strategy to be like, I have multiple things that you may want. Okay? Multiple things you may want here. You know, if you buy this book, I'll give you this book for free. Like, I'll give you, if I get 20 copies of this, I'll give up like 8 of them or 10 of them or whatever, and then other people can have them, right? Like family and friends and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I'll keep a few copies for myself. But yeah, like marketing and stuff like that. So I'm really like excited about it. The chapbooks, some of them, because I wrote them down. I have my like catch-all notebook. Some of these chapbooks was like, one of them was like up to 60 pages. Girl, this is a full-length collection. You want me to write a full-length collection to turn in? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I could make it one long poem. Yo, what if I did that? What if I made a chapbook that was just one long poem? I could do it. I could challenge myself. Oh my god. But yeah, so there's that. So I submitted that. The next one, yeah, I submitted that. One of them. I already submitted. What the hell? I know I submitted this. Submissions. Oh, there we go. It was received. I was like, what the? Yeah, what the? So I submitted that. The next one I have, um, uh, this upcoming next week, next week, and then the end of April, the end of April is pretty popular. Yeah, next week in the end of April, basically. So yeah, like all of these things. All these things are happening. All these things are happening. So yeah, so a lot of them in April and then May right behind it. And then some in like the summertime. And then we have one that's really far out. But I just, there's a lot of stuff out there. And again, I want to I want to get published. That's my one thing. I don't want to leave without being published consistently. It works for me to be published consistently, and I tend to choose places that may not be they're not a pushcart prize, they're not Rattle Poetry, nothing against those, but I choose things like the one place that got published, they've been doing it for like 30 years or 30 something like that. I was like, oh my god, like I didn't know and you would never know it because they're online, they're not like the biggest name, but that's like so amazing that you have so many years of like, or maybe it was like 30 editions. Even still, that's impressive to get the 30 editions of like poetry and nonfiction and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because like some journals, they do like one issue and that's it. Like they don't do nothing else after that. So I'm happy about that. Yeah, so I just had my submittable. I have my catch-all book. I love writing down all my due dates. I'm in the phase of like splitting my time between visual art and writing poetry and microfiction and stuff like that and submitting, because vending season is upon us. So I'm focusing kind of like trying to get into exhibitions and doing stuff like that, and I'm crafting proposals to do like lead workshops and stuff like that. One of the things that I did do was secure like a leading workshop for like writing and art. Really was writing, so it'll be like another week or two from now, and I'm like happy because I like wrote a proposal and accepted it, and it was like a mini proposal. I accepted it, and then so I hope to kind of like do more of those in the future, because I want to like teach writing, and I do want to have a community based on that. So yeah, I just have so many things I want to write, and I'm like buzzing with ideas. Oh my god. But all these ideas are taking place, but the one thing I need to do is just like get started, because for me, having submittal can get very, 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 very overwhelming, because like if you saw how many things I'm trying to like not apply to, but just how many things I've just gathered to like look into as a resource. And like I was staying up until like 5 o'clock in the morning trying to like do this, like write all the ones that I was interested in down. It was like a lot. And so having to like pace myself to do stuff is kind of like there. I'm trying to like pace myself. I just, I get really excited about shit. I get excited about shit, and then I'm like, oh my god, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this. But definitely pace yourself. But yeah, I would say if you're a writer, please have writer's goals. Have writer's goals every year, every month, every quarter, every whatever. Because being a writer, you need a certain amount of self-esteem to kind of like keep going. And some of it is external validation of getting published, of having your work accepted and acknowledged within the community that you work in. Like other industries may not work so much on like getting validation as writing. Writing is just one of those writing and like visual arts, I kind of feel like are like two realms where like being acknowledged by your peers really does change your life, because it's kind of like you start to get plugged into spaces where you can start to show your work. Because you may get like, you may not get, I'm like so distracted by this like thing in the back because like cat busted my fucking thing, but like you may get get discouraged when you don't get into it's like it's a weird feeling, I feel like, as a writer, because it's like I'm very like, okay, if I'm not accepted in this space, I'll like go over here and try this way or try to make my own space instead. And I do realize that like we all is in writing, having a community, having a space where other people are looking at your work and acknowledging your work is kind of a goal. Like it is part of like the career path to want those things, and to really have those things you kind of need to have those things sometimes in order to move ahead. And I am very conscious and aware of like submitting stuff and showing up to writer spaces means something now, right? So I am not someone who likes going out. I don't like being around a lot of people. Please leave me alone is kind of my motto. And I just want to like go out, get food, and then like eat in my car or at the place that I get the food, and then go home. Like I don't want to be bothered with a lot of shit. But I realize that like if I'm going to make this a career, I'm gonna have to go out, kiss babies, shake hands, and do all that kind of shit that like like the stuff that like people do in like corporate, you kind of low-key have to do in writing. Like you kind of do have to go for the brunches, you do have to go to conferences, you do have to go to writers clubs to meet these people, because some of these people are going to be the next person that you like meet, or the next person who's like the editor, assistant editor, one of the readers. They need a position filled over here, they need a position filled over there. And so I'm very aware of it, I think, in my second year, because I'm getting ready to leave the program like another year, that I need to like mingle. And it's been very interesting to find spaces that are interesting to me, even if, you know, I'm not like 100% like a full member and stuff like that. I've had like a few good experiences. Like I went to one of the art districts that specifically catered to like Black people within my city, and so it was a nice event, having a nice presentation. It was food there. There was a raffle to win money. There was like the person who gave this talk had a bunch of resources listed, like places you can apply for grants and stuff like that to get your ideas off the ground, to get moving. And I wouldn't have been exposed to that. That would have been me on my computer days after days after days, months after months, going nowhere, versus just getting out and talking to people. I bought a ticket for a writers meetup. It was just so much going on. But it was like this weekend was like crazy. It was like Friday I had 2 events, and then Saturday I had a mandatory event because I'm a student ambassador at my university. I had to work the open house. So like 2 events, I could only I did things so late that I missed the first event, and I just could go to the second event. And then yeah, but I still met people and got out there and stuff like that. And I was like, told the person that I missed the first event, I was like, just tell me when it is so I can like fucking miss it too. Like I missed that one as well since my day was going so shitty. Yeah. So yeah, like getting out and having writing groups and people that you talk to in writing is like helpful, because writing is solitary and it can be very lonely, and it does feel weird when you like are trying to break into a group or industry that does in many ways still have gates up. Like, you know, it still has gates up. And so I kind of realized like if I want to do it, I'm gonna have to like make it serious, a serious effort to go out and talk to people and stuff like that, especially since I'm not in a major city for publishing. It's a pretty decent city. It's a good literary community, like communities here, as well as visual arts, but it's not New York, it's not LA, it's not Miami, it's not Chicago, it's not DC. So, you know, those are the main kind of like hub cities for like a lot of major industries, particularly when it comes to like banking, when it comes to finances, when it comes to like art, like film, literature, stuff like that. Like these are major centers, design, stuff like that. These are major places where you can find it, especially in New York, LA. Miami's pretty big for design and stuff like that now. Chicago's a publishing hub, arts hub, tech hub, finance hubs too as well. So getting out and meeting people within my locale helps me feel good, because I want to be a part of the future of the city when it comes to publishing. And yeah, I have to go out and do that. And so I'm pushing myself. But on my own personal like journey, I am pushing myself to get published because it's just a goal of mine. I just think that if you're in an MFA program and you're not applying but it's like submitting stuff, why not? Like, don't be scared about it. Like, go for it and like do like actual stuff, you know? So yeah, that's about it. There's a few more proposals I want to write and go from there, but I think I'm gonna this upcoming week try and start writing for some chapbooks, because there's a bunch of chapbooks that I'm interested in, but I kind of realized like, girl, like you might only can do like maybe 2 and then call it a day, because they're requiring me like minimum, like a lot of them like 15 or so, and the way I am, I'm kind of like, can I do 5 to 10? You know, it's stretching the bounds of how far I can take this one concept, and like, are there nuances to the concept that I want to incorporate? You know, like they all have this overall theme, but making them like a cohesive project is kind of where I am. And I have a few poems that I think are starting to kind of make themselves known, as far as like, these will go over here, these will go over here. But I definitely am a little ways away from like the minimum for like most of the contests that I'm looking into. So I have to like really like do this. So yeah, that's where I am. I think this is all I want to say for this week. I think it's been like a week or 2 since I uploaded. So here are the videos for this week. I'll talk to you guys later. Take care. Bye.